Hi Bio54, my name is Erica Zhang, and my presentation is about skin cancer. First we're going to start off with some background information. The skin is made of epithelial and connective tissues and is the largest organ of the body. It is part of the integumentary system, which includes the epidermis, the dermis, I'll explain those later, hair, nails, and sweat glands. The purpose of the skin is to act as a barrier to protect the body from outside elements, such as injuries, infections, bacteria, and disease. It also prevents the body from loss of fluids and maintains body temperature. There are actually 3 layers that make up the skin. There's the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. The first layer, the epidermis, is the top layer and is the layer that is visible to you right now. The epidermis is made up of another 3 layers of epithelial tissues and contains no blood vessels. These 3 layers are the cuboidal cells, which are shaped as cubes and help with secretion, columnar cells, which are shaped as columns in between the cuboidal and the squamous cells and help move particles along in the skin, and also contain basal cells that help with the production of new skin cells. And then there's the squamous cells, which are square-shaped and help with absorption and exchange of gases. I'll explain the importance of these different skin cells in the next slide. The second layer is the dermis, which is made up of connective tissue. In this layer, hair endings, nerves, blood vessels, and sweat glands are present. So, if you get a paper cut and the wound starts to bleed, this means that the paper has cut through the epidermis and has gone into the dermis. The last layer is called the hypodermis, and the hypodermis is made of loose connective tissues or fat. Hypodermis is also the layer that connects the skin to the muscles underneath. The cause of skin cancer is UV radiation from the sun. The sun produces 2 types of UV rays. There are the UVA rays and also the UVB rays. UVB rays are weaker than those of the UVA rays, and they can only penetrate the epidermis. However, UVA rays are stronger, and they can penetrate all the way into the dermis. To protect the body from these UV rays, the skin produces melanin and melanocytes, which are located in between the epidermis and the dermis. Melanin is a pigment that is usually brown, yellow, or black in color. People with darker skin tend to produce more melanin than those with lighter skin, and people with albinism do not produce any or so little melanin so that they are more sensitive to UV rays. There are 3 types of skin cancer. There is the basal cell carcinoma, the squamous cell carcinoma, and also melanomas, which we have discussed in one of our lectures. The basal cell carcinoma is the most common skin cancer and is caused by the sun's UVB rays. This cancer develops after the exposure of UV rays and results in mutation and uncontrolled growth of the basal cells. Some signs of basal cell carcinoma development are waxy bumps on the skin, opening sores, red itching spots, or scar-like patches on the skin. In 2010, 2.8 billion Americans have been diagnosed with the skin cancer, and the number of cases reported are increasing each year. On the other hand, squamous cell carcinoma is not as common. Similar to the basal cell carcinoma, the squamous cell carcinoma is the uncontrolled growth of squamous cells after a lifetime of overexposure to the sun's radiation. Most of the time, the squamous cell carcinoma tends to look like scaly sores in the skin. There is an estimated 700,000 cases of squamous cell carcinoma reported in the United States each year. Melanoma is the most deadly skin cancer due to the area of where these cancerous cells develop. Melanoma is caused by the uncontrolled production of melanin, and because it is so close to the dermis, the cancer has a greater possibility of spreading easily throughout the body through blood vessels. Melanomas can develop on any surface of the skin, even areas that have never been exposed to the sun. Most melanoma look similar to a mole, which makes the melanoma harder to diagnose. This year alone, there have been about 73,870 cases reported, and studies show that the number of people with melanoma cancer is on the rise. There is an estimate that 9,940 people will die in 2015 due to melanoma. Depending on the type of skin cancer, treatments may vary. If the cancer is basal cell or squamous cell carcinoma, then the doctor would probably prescribe topical skin cream, medications, radiation, or maybe even chemotherapy. However, because melanoma is hard to diagnose, the possibility of death is high. But if diagnosed in the early stages of melanoma development, the patient can be saved, but surgery will be required to have the cancer removed. To prevent skin cancer in the first place, it is best to avoid overexposure in the sun and tanning beds, and use sunblock or sunscreen or even clothing to cover the body. But be careful of active ingredients labeled and the type of sunscreen used. For example, octinoxate is an ingredient found in most sunscreens that disrupts hormones and is not recommended for children or pregnant women. Spray sunscreen can also cause breathing problems and is not recommended for small children. However, it is mostly small children who are using them due to the convenience. Today, cases of reported skin cancer are on the rise, but due to more awareness and the use of technology, potential deaths caused by skin cancer are prevented. Those who are diagnosed with melanoma in its early stages have a 98% survival rate, which is very high. Skin products are improving, but always be aware and research the active ingredients listed yourself. And when spending time outside, be sure to wear sunscreen to protect your skin and your body. Thank you.